Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, please allow me to introduce myself. I am your imagination. This story tonight and everyone in it is your imagination. I am the illusion, the in-between, the shadow. I am the glue that's going to hold this whole story together. We're all like the glue, holding this story together. It's like a house. We're constructing a house, holding it together, glued together, and then we're going to burn it all down, blown away like smoke in the imagination. Look here, I'm putting up a wall. It's all bullshit. It's all your imagination. You know that. Divisions, borders, walls, between actors and audience, between me and all of you. Constructing, holding up, glued together, burning down, breaking through borders that don't exist. Just going around believing. As I told you from the start, none of it is true. It's all bullshit. We just made it all up.
She was only a girl when her life was cut in half. But what her mind forgot, her body would remember, even after her visible wounds were healed. Pain. Pain is like weather. It changes both its shape and color. White pain is the worst. Why? Because darkness promises light, and white absorbs it, sharp as glass. A white sky without shore or sail or breath. The white of salt, of the colorless men who won't stay dead. And silence is the cruelest white of all. Tinfoil slit with a silent blade, the one they used to slit her tongue. Does her suffering offend? It may. Suffering offends both the one who tells and the one who listens. When the teller protects the listener, she harms herself. When she speaks her truth, the listener is abraded. But you've survived my telling, so deal with it. This is how it is.
Welcome to Grist for the Mill. I'm your host, Felicity Rose. Today we are lucky to have in the studio with us Arlene Conroy, author of the bestseller, The Bad Apple, and of 8 other novels, including her latest, Border Saga, which is being published by Gilded Press. Arlene, welcome to Grist for the Mill.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I've enjoyed all your books ever since I read Sliver of the Moon 15 years ago.
Oh, National Book Award, Pulitzer Prize, Nobel Prize, Order of the British Empire. Oh,
You create totally gripping narratives And the characters are so multidimensional, I feel like I'm living among them. In all of your books, there is usually one particular I resonate with. In Border Saga, it's the Mexican girl, Loba.
I mean, she is the center of the narrative.
Your book is a complex story of families on both sides of the border, involving many characters. Why did you choose to make her so important to the narrative?
You don't have to answer that. You really want to break through that wall?
The history of the borderlands begins with the original inhabitants, those we call indigenous peoples, who came from the north way before the Spanish, who then slaughtered them brutally. Loba represents the psychic scarring of this history.
Let's listen to an excerpt from Loba's story. Arlene, could you read for us?
This is the bit about her starting her life in the Hacienda Rosita after being partially nursed back to health. After she was sufficiently healed to stand unassisted, they dressed her in a cast-off gingham dress and slippers. As soon as she was steady on her feet, she was handed a broom and set to sweeping the dirt and tile floors. They moved her pallet from the house to the barn, but they neglected to give her a name save Muchacha, girl. Though the younger of the two brothers, the darker boy had his own for her, Thea, the ugly one.
Thea. So this girl is shamed all over again, yet eventually she develops great personal power. Can you explain how that happens?
Psychic pain, terrible abuse, triggers survival mechanisms that are deeply powerful and spiritual, and I wanted Loba to embody these.
Loba means wolf in Spanish. She acquires this name from the boy who called her Thea and was planning to attack her.
No.
Instead, she succeeds in hurting him.
She is protecting him from the wolf. The wolf is defending her cubs.
Please read that part for us.
Hidden in the shadows of the oleander that overhung the path between the house and the barn. It was a night that spoke of spring, but clung to winter frigid as a knife and luminous. She knew the boy was tracking her down before she realized some other creature was tracking him. Its shape was apparent, lurking in the undergrowth thick with banana trees and gathering itself to lunge. From her hiding place, she saw the beast's eyes as yellow pricks in the night, and Ricardo's as rimmed moons flashing with terror. Branches and voices cracked, and fur collided with flesh. The ruckus sent the forest ringing. Should she retreat or hold her ground? Either way, she was in danger too. So she aimed her pitcher of sour milk, the one she'd been guarding in the trees, at the creature's head and the way he stung its eyes. The girl saw the creature was a she-wolf, defending her territory, not hunting for food, and stunned from the surprise attack, the wolf slipped away with her tail flagging. Later, she came to his bedside with poultices and an ointment she had made from the bark of the myrtle tree. She rubbed it on his face and into his wound. Its bitter smell spoke to his rotting one. When he was asleep, he didn't know she was the one touching and bathing him. He thought it was his mother, rising from the dead. So he dutifully swallowed the soup she spooned into his mouth. When his eyes opened, and he saw who this figure was, The blue drained out of them, and he yelped and spat out the broth. Unlike the wolf, the girl was not cowed. So she fed him another spoonful, until he realized he had no choice but to swallow. Loba, he whispered, through clenched jaws. Loba, the she-wolf. At last, this muchacha had a name, and it was one that pleased her.
Would you like to know your results? The results of your biopsy. Hello? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I want to know the results.
Are you sure? Or would you rather wait?
No, I'm sure. I want to know.
You have cancer. Are you still there?
Yes. What does that mean?
Well, actually, it's good news. You have a very small cancer in one tissue sample. It's not up to stage 1. You have several alternatives. You can monitor the trend, check you every 3 months, and see what happens.
So, I'm in cancer purgatory, a force field. Next alternative.
Well, there's radiation.
That sounds promising. I could be like the X-Men, a mutant, and have superpowers. What's the outcome?
Typically, it's impotency. So it's not like being bitten by a radioactive spider.
Wonderful. I could call myself Disappointment Man and wear a cape. My wife will be thrilled. Tell you what, let me think about all this, and I'll call you back. Well, the biopsy was on December 12th, so at least they didn't say, Merry Christmas, you have cancer, Happy Holidays. The question is, how do I break out of this? Do I go crazy living for the moment? Do I get the giant bag of Doritos and start eating? It's not like I need to worry about my health anymore. But fat and dying seems a lot worse than just dying, so that's not good. Or should I get spiritual? Go down and make amends to all the people I've wronged in life, family, friends, coworkers, people in general. Or take up astrology. Maybe change my name. Or feng shui and change furniture positions. If there is an afterlife, will I have a body? Will I have to pay taxes? Will I meet annoying deceased relatives? This would be a lot funnier if it was happening to someone else and not me. I haven't told many people about this. It's kind of a weird vibe. I have an actor friend of mine. I know what he would say. So, it's not terminal. You're not going to die. What's the big look? But let me tell you about my latest project. Somehow, material things just don't seem that important anymore. There's no time to lose. I need to push out of the comfortable into the fascinating. This could be the hardest thing I've ever done, but it could be the best.
I don't even know who I am. I don't like myself.
Oh my God! I'm having a breakthrough! It's amazing! It's wonderful! Actually, it's unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe it. Can you believe it? There I was, totally down in the dumps. I mean, a complete wreck at the end of my rope. And suddenly, everything turned around.
Everything turned around, really.
But right there, in the middle of all the chaos, there was the breakthrough.
She can't explain it because it doesn't make any sense.
But it doesn't have to make sense.
It's nonsense. Total nonsense. You thought you were having a breakthrough, but you're really having a breakdown.
A breakdown? It doesn't feel like a breakdown.
Well, I sure as heck know what a breakdown feels like. And you're having one.
Could I really be having a breakdown? What if there's no difference?
What if there's no difference between a breakdown and a breakthrough? Oh my God.
What if I'm seeing it upside down?
What if I'm seeing it upside down?
The last time I talked to my mom, I asked her, do you still think I'm crazy? You know, when they said 20 years ago I was crazy. Do you still think that? I mean, I have a degree, I own a house, I've had a good job for 20 years. I don't have kids. You know, do you really think I'm crazy? She said, oh, yeah. I said, really? Why? She said, well, you're the most creative person I've ever met. I said, okay. I got a call at 3 a.m. on January 2nd from my dad. He was at the VA hospital, and he said that my mom was in the emergency room and she had the flu and it was really bad and he wanted me to come. So I came and I watched my mom die in 4 hours on the table in the emergency room from the flu. The CPR workers, they did 3 rounds of CPR. My dad disappeared. The doctor looked at me, and so I called her death. She had cancer and she didn't know it. For a month and a half after that happened, my sister, 3 years older than me, slept with my father in his bed for a month and a half. She left, and then my cousin, who's 21 years old, blonde, blue like me, was staying with my dad to help him, and he sexually assaulted her. She called me in hysterics. I called the police. The last time I talked to my father, he said, you stay away from me in my house. family tree burned down today. Or was it long ago? My mother bleeds. My dad can't see anything. You're a child refugee, dreaming of an honest family that never was and never will be. And then when the winter went away, I found the birds. And then I'll find the moths again. And I found the hawks. And I found the golden eagles. I found the sand-heel cranes. I found the birdin, and the monarchs, and the sparrows, and the tern, the merganser, the finches. I found my mother. Somehow I found my mother. And the birds.
Oh, I am so miserable. So very, very miserable. I need a girlfriend. I'm so miserable without a girlfriend.
I can help that.
You'll be my girlfriend?
No. But I read all about it in my psychology book. It's here on page. Oh, I can't see the page. 340.
Page 340. Hey, is it your phone number on page 340?
No, it talks about how all discontent stems from a desire. So you see, you simply have to give up your desires to have a girlfriend, and you'll no longer be miserable. Are you listening to me? Do you want my help?
Yes. Oh, yes, please. Please help me.
You need to change your focus. Dance is a no cure for miserable discontent.
You know, I'm pretty sure a girlfriend is a known cure for miserable discontent.
Nope. The cure's dance. Just try it.
All right. You know, I'm not a dancer, but I'll give it a try.
Singing is also a cure. Try it.
Okay. You got a pretty face and a special style. You're the best dressed girl in town. I wish you are my girlfriend. You're the cutest thing around. Even when you won't look at me, you're just the cutest thing. Even when you won't speak to me, you are just the cutest thing. Even when you treat me like I don't exist, you're so cute. I want you, even when you're acting like I don't exist, there's no getting over you. Now you are my favorite girl. Now you are my favorite girl. Now you are my favorite girl.
That's it. Now try the two together.
All right. Got a pretty face and a special style. You're the best dressed girl in town. I wish you are my girlfriend. You're the cutest thing around. It's working! I'm no longer miserable!
Wonderful! You've had a breakthrough. See, I told you. I read all that in my books. You've shed your desires and you're no longer miserable.
Oh, yes, I am no longer miserable, but it's not because I shed my desires. No, it's because I want a girlfriend. I want. I am no longer miserable because of you.
No. No. No! Listen to me. How do you stop being miserable?
By shedding all desire.
Because all discontent stems from
Desire.
as it was.
She was done with witnessing. She was out on her own now, without anyone else to love, to hate, to heal, or to destroy, with only herself to wait on.
You were sufficiently healed.
At last, I had a name.
You wanted to embody that power.
I could have jumped and hurled myself into the current.
And had she hit bottom and split her skull, so be it. But it was too late for that. Life and death were things of her past. Now she must set her gaze toward the farthest edge of the firmament, toward the gash millennia piled onto millennia had worn itself into sandstone and granite and shale. The Santa Elena Canyon, shaped like a woman's purse, the source of all things, the eye of the needle. And it was her turn to thread it. I was the one who set the fire.
She was the one who set the fire, the one who burned the Hacienda Rosita to the ground, who rolled the gasoline tank out of the barn and used a length of tubing to siphon the fuel into pails. She was the one who sealed the vacuum, then spat and rinsed the acrid aftertaste from her mouth and gums, grateful she had lost her taste buds so long ago. After she had filled 4 buckets, she doused every room in the place. Floor, walls, windows, and furniture, the doorways too. Then she dragged the half-empty tank into the kitchen, and she did not replace the cap. She set it aside to allow the vacant space inside to fill with oxygen until it was fit to burst. But not yet. First, she must put her hand into the flame, hold it steady, and wait on pain. And it came to her, and it slit her from top to toe. It singed her, and it stitched her up, until she was screaming at the top of her lungs, in her own true voice, until she was howling for joy, for rage, for grief, howling for her death and for her life.
And instantly the sky turned riotous around her. A whirl of scarlet, cochineal, apricot, amber, and flagrant yellow. Ellipses of violet, emerald bursts. The birds began swirling and curling like cyclones. The phoebe birds and the white-throated swifts, the green jays, the nuthatches, the white-collared seed-eaters, and yes, the grackles too. Monarch butterflies were crowding out the milkweed at her feet, tethered as they were to the tenuous banks of the Rio Grande.
I gave her a voice, and her voice is my true voice, and perhaps it's yours as well. Now, it belongs to all of us.